Hi, and welcome to this week's recording of the HighLevel Workshop for Forms, Surveys and Quizzes. As we're covering those three topics, forms as you'd expect for forms on your website for capturing contact details. We use surveys to capture and qualify with conditional logic leads. And then we got quizzes, which is just like ScoreApp, where you can qualify leads and make intelligent decisions based on their answers and give them a report or whatever you want to do, personality if you wish. So we'll make a start right now. Okay, so forms, surveys, and quizzes, they live in the menu setting for sites. Yeah, and when you go to sites, on the black menu on the left in MarketerM8, you'll see forms, surveys, and quizzes. Okay, what are the differences between the three? So a form is like a web form you'd be familiar with on the website. Yeah, a simple contact us form with name, email, maybe capturing a message. That would be a form. The next level up from that is a survey. Okay, a survey is like a multi-step form. So it's like page one might be asking for their name and email. Page two might be asking for some specific details, and page three might be the thank you page. So it's more of a, especially if you've got a lot of questions to ask, it gives you a way of sort of breaking it into sections. You're not inundating someone with a form that's like as long as your arm. So it can also be more compact to put it on your website as well, rather than a long form that goes on for about a foot. And then finally, we've got the quizzes, which, as Steve was alluded to before, is very, very similar to ScoreApp. So I've been able to create a quiz with conditional logic and adding points to a contact record so you can qualify them and sort of segment them based on their answers. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So the first thing we'll look at is the forms. So we click on the forms here. You see here we've got the form builder. You can analyze, check what analyze is actually, and then submissions. You can see who has submitted the form in the past. Who has submitted the form in the last month or day or so. We'll go to the builder first. So this is where you build your forms. It opens up for me. I'm in the builder already, yeah. And here you see I've got a number of forms already set up here, but to add a new form, you just click on add form like that. You can start from scratch or from templates. Yeah, we'll have a look at templates first of all, because I've not looked at those myself actually. So I just want to jump into here and check. If you haven't already got HighLevel software, then below you'll find a link to our MarketerM8 agency where you can sign up for a free trial, and we'll be more than happy to help you get onboarded and started using HighLevel. So you might be able to find a template that broadly fits what you're looking to do, and you know that by just changing the pictures, you could make it your own. So that might be an option for you if you want to do that. If I preview that template there, this one looks like that. So you might say, oh, that's 80% there what I'm looking for. So you might choose a template. This is a pet grooming one. So you might say, well, if I click on here, I can just swap out the image.
Is it a background image maybe? Yeah.
The background image.
Header image there. Just down one box.
Oh, hang on. Oh, header image. Is that one there?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, got it. Oh, okay. So I've taken that background image off there. Header image. I didn't know I did this article before. So I can swap that out for one of my images here. Find one here. Let's put that one. Just put anything in there to show you. Yeah. So we just change. So you can customize that font to make it your own. You can change the copy in there by clicking on here, changing the copy. You can change the color of that button. That'll probably be in. Where would it be? So the key part when you're editing the forms is that this menu on the right hand side. When you click onto that element, you can then customize it in there. Gotta find the colors. They'll be in here somewhere. See, there's a lot. There's a lot of settings. Trying to find it myself. So often you find with high level, it's just having when you can't work something out, it's just digging in the settings there to find it. You got any luck with that, Atticus? Before I
So you see a little cog on the bottom,
aha, yeah.
and then
How much
colours and background there.
away looking? Sorry.
Scroll down slightly. There you go.
Oh, there you spot. Well done. You get 10 out of 10 for that one, Atticus. Yeah. So as I'm demonstrating here, it's a case of just digging in the settings sometimes, finding the relevant setting that you're trying to do there. Also, don't forget with MarketerM8, we've got the tech support button here. You can ask the guys there, and they'd be a lot quicker to find the answer than I was there. And obviously your forms you build out, you can ask whatever questions you want. Yeah. So one I like, well, we've already got that one here. You can pull in any custom fields you've got. Yeah. So if you want to capture the date of birth, you can drag that one in like that. Yeah. And I think we touched on it last week, Steve, where we can also capture other data for other object fields. So for instance, here we've got rather than populating the contact record, which is sort of standard, if we wanted to pull it add a company record as well.
Yeah.
We can capture the company name. So that's going to create a company and associate it by the name with the contact record, which can be a handy little trick. Also, another one as well with the opportunities, which we've never used that, except where been able to fill a form in a contact and then create an opportunity.
You have not had to do that yet.
No, you've not. But that's a feature now with able to associate the custom objects to the form. So that's the example of using a template form. If we go back, often what I'm doing now, because often you don't need, if you're embedding the form on your website, you don't need any fancy images and things on this like this one had. You might just go to create a plain template. Add forms. You might just start from scratch. This is what I typically would do. Go start from scratch. Yeah, so it gives you a sort of standard starting point. Yeah. Here's my default sort of opt-in requirements. Because I'm experimenting with using the voice AI, especially for outbound calling, the system makes you be very detailed about how you're going to use a phone number. So that's why I've got a lot of terms and conditions there at the moment. But often you don't need all that. Take that off. The first thing I'll do is amalgamate the first and last name. So rather than having fields for first and last name, just replace it with a full name. It's just easier for people to fill in. Yeah. And we can obviously change the color of buttons and the fonts and all that by clicking on here and then going to the side menu here. That's where all your settings live for the form. And then when you're ready to drop this, as I say, contact us form or a form on your page or a landing page, you create a system, you go and you click on the integrate button here, and it gives you the options by which you can use that form. So typically on a contact us page, you'd be embedding the form inline as part of the page. So you click on the inline option like that, and then grab the copy embed code, copy to my clipboard, and then you just have to get that HTML code or that iframe code it will be embedded on your web page, either yourself or web designer. Is that okay, Steve? That makes sense?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Or you might decide you want the form to pop up on the page. Yeah. So after so many seconds when someone's on the page, you want a pop-up to appear. And these don't have to be HighLevel websites. It could be WordPress websites that are not linked to your HighLevel account at all. Sometimes you might want to just simply share the link to the form. Okay. So you build a form in HighLevel. You're not going to embed it on your web pages. You just want to grab that link there and use it. So here's an example of me using it here. So if I just open another window here quickly, I've got a form here for capturing referrals. So I've just used that link to the form and created a, where has it gone? Referral capture form. Actually, I've just taken the link and saved it as a favorite. Yeah, and then the only person that uses this form will be me to capture referrals. So I fill that form in. It's going to create the contacts and trigger the automation. Yeah. I mean, with clients, what we do quite often is we might build a whole form here for the receptionist in the office to use. So the receptionists know every time the phone rings, yeah, they just have to go and bring this favorite on their browser, on the computer, and they can capture any inbound calls coming in. And they've got all the options here to tick boxes, drop downs, capturing data, so it can accommodate every option of the phone calls coming in. So they know the phone rings, they fill that form and tick the various options, and the automation then takes over. That could be a big time saver for clients. Is that okay there? So here is where we build the forms. Yeah. And you can see that you got the various settings here in the background. So the important thing is when somebody fills in that form, you go to settings, and what do you want to have happen when the form gets submitted? Yeah. Do you want a plain, simple message appearing? Thank you for filling the form in. Yeah. Or do you want to take them to a URL redirect? It could be a thank you page on your website or a dedicated page. Yeah, whichever you want to do. Again, you can fully customize that with it. You see here with logos. Uh, Tweak it all you like. You can put your Facebook tracking pixel in there for conversion tracking in Facebook. Yeah, so those are the basic settings on a form. Is there any questions there? Everyone okay on that?
Was it you guys that mentioned a way
Okay.
of getting the colour for things like a button? So if you want the colour to match the site you're putting it on, there was a way of running over and it would generate that little colour code.
Yeah, so the trick we do is see on my browser here,
Yeah.
I've got a Chrome extension called, what's it called? Hang on a sec, I'll find out the name of it. So it's just
Is it eyedropper or something?
I'll just check that one. So in my extensions here on my Chrome, I've got one called, and I use it quite a lot. We use this, don't we, Atticus? Yeah, called iDropper. So
Okay.
you you just look for a Chrome extension, iDropper, you should be able to find it.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Install that one. I mean, this saves so much time. So you could be on any website. Just click on the iDropper, pick color from the website, and just choose it there like that. Click on it, and then you click on here and you get the hex code for it.
That's it. Yeah.
Like I said, you got time, you got that little trick there, yeah. Okay, that's that one. So now we build out our web form, and all that web form is going to do on its own is capture the contact details and add them to the database. Yeah, that's half the picture. The other half of the picture is what happens when they fill that form in, and that's where the workflows and the automation then take over. Okay, so I'll show you an example I've got. I've got a form called contact us form for website. Okay, that's a form. There's my form, very simple one. Yeah, there's the form. Then I want to trigger automation. I want to follow up with them as soon as they fill that form in. And we do that through the workflow. So now we switch our thinking to the workflows again. It's always comes back to automation and the workflows. Again, we've got the other workshop for this one, but we'll just quickly dig in. Create a workflow, start from scratch. Yep. And then we've got the AI workflow builder, which I must admit I've never used. For me, it's just simple to build the workflow, but it starts with a trigger. Okay, so here's a recent update we've had where you see here to add a trigger now or any action, we've got a new way of doing it. We can click on add up here, add a trigger. Yeah, and I can drag what I could do now, it's new, I can drag that across like that. Okay, so this trigger now is looking for when any form is filled in, any form, yeah, but with filters we can drill down to the precise form we want to trigger here. The form is, we'll look for the, where is it? Contact us form for website. Okay, so that will now trigger. Every time that form is filled in, that will trigger. Sometimes you might want to apply additional filters. See here, so I might decide, so if they've said yes to the terms and conditions, they can only proceed in this instance. they've opted into the terms and conditions. I won't bother about that today. So all I'm going to worry about is every time that form is submitted, it's going to trigger the workflow. And for instance, we might want to cancel that. Sorry, let me save that. Yeah, we might want to, when the form is filled in, we might want to send them an email. Yeah, so click on here, add action, send an email. I can pull it. This is all new there. You can drag it in now like that. We can send them an email. Okay, I'm just going to, the way I like to work is I'm just going to pull that email in there and use it as a placeholder for now while I map out the rest of the skeleton of the campaign. I'm not going to worry about individual copy or images. I'm just going to get the skeleton of the campaign set up. I've got to put something in the subject line to hold it. Yeah, so an email, and then I might say, okay, we'll create an opportunity to sales pipeline to follow up. Yeah, you sort of build out your own whatever automation you need for you in a sales role here. Yeah? So it might be a type in opportunity, create update opportunity. It'll be that one there. Okay, drag it across now. It does it. Hang on. There we go. Create an opportunity, and then you can build out your whole little campaign. Does that make sense? Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the forms, as basic as they are, the forms. We'll now move over and look at the survey functionality. Go back. Again, we've got to go to sites to do that. We go to surveys, survey builder. It's a very similar builder now. I put one that's been built already for a marketing agency. This is a template I pulled in some while ago. So very, very similar to manage to the way we're working with forms, except this time the form is effectively spread over multiple pages. Yeah. So you can create your own logic as they fill these questions and then go to these questions, which is handy if you've got a lot of questions to ask. Yeah, we can also apply conditional logic as well here. Yeah, so you click on, so say this one here, click on the settings, and here's where you can apply your logic. So for instance, in these radio buttons here, if the person selects website design, I can say if they select website design, they're going to go to page 2 of this survey. Yeah. If they opt for conversion rate optimization, they're going to go to slide 3. So we can take each one on their own individual journey. Yeah. So we're not asking people questions that are irrelevant to them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm missing anything. I've covered everything there, Atticus.
No, the principle is exactly the same as the forms, isn't it? It's just the fact it's over a couple of pages.
Exactly, yeah. But it just gives you more customization.
So when you've created the survey questions, does that effectively end up as a field within the CRM?
Yeah, custom field, yeah.
Okay. And does it group all of the those fields under a particular in a folder, or how does it group them?
If you're creating them on the fly in here, then it doesn't group them together. But then later on, you can go into the settings, custom fields, and then what I would do is create a folder.
Yeah, put them all in the folder.
Survey name, and then move all the questions into that folder. That's a little bit of a manual bit there. You have to do yourself, but it's not too difficult.
Yeah. What I'm interested in as well is once you've got people who've completed the survey. So I've got a client at the moment, and I've encouraged them to do a survey on all their customers, and their concerns are that they've got quite a high level of customers who are dissatisfied with a particular product. And I've said to them, I suspect it's probably not as many people as you think are dissatisfied. If we go out to everyone, rather than just listen to the 3 or 4 people who complained last week, you might find, it's 1% are actually complaining. So how do you analyze the results of the survey?
So Good question. So what you could do is, as part of the workflow we'll come to in a minute, you could populate all the answers into a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Because obviously, when the questions are filled in, they're all it's just custom fields on the contact level record. So what I'd be looking to do is pop at the end of the survey, triggering to populate a row in a spreadsheet. So at least you've got all the data in one place then.
Yeah. So there isn't a way of generating a graph or something within the CRM to show, you've had, 100 people complete the form and, 10% are unhappy.
That we don't have that level of reporting. If you go to see here, settings here, there's a settings again like before. Go to submissions. There'll be none to see here. But you just see who submitted the report, who submitted the survey.
Yeah.
So out of the box, the system is just going to capture the data for you.
Yeah.
So my thinking.
Would you have it feature on the dashboard, for example, to say, so each week they go into the sales meeting and they say they've had 20 submissions this week from surveys sent to customers.
Yeah. You could do. I'm sure you could do. Let me go back out here. Yeah, go back out. But as to actually analysing those responses, that's not something native in HighLevel at the moment anyway. So you'd have to look, like say, bolt on another tool somehow, work that one out. But if I go to dashboard here, edit dashboard, well, look, add widget. There's so many widgets here to play with.
So like that little graph widget there, you see there's a graph there, isn't there, and a pie.
Yes, yeah.
Chart type.
Yeah. Yeah, that's custom contacts. Contact base.
So you can view your forms and surveys within the analytics insights, but whether it drills down to the custom field, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you can track how many people have completed your form weekly.
Yeah, I think what Steve would like is to know, like say, working out the how many people are unhappy with a particular product. Yeah, you'd like to see that more easily. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with the ScoreApp is it produces some quite good graphics around anything that's submitted, which is like I'm trying to avoid paying for the. I mean, I appreciate that's quizzes, but it does produce some quite good graphics for say the number of people who've filled your forms in, who've done this, who've done that, who've done the other, and it's quite visual.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where the value is. I don't know.
Maybe that's the advanced sort of bells and whistles that we don't quite have here. We'll look at forms and surveys in a minute. Is that quizzes in a minute, Steve? Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's all doable, but like I say, it might be a bit more long-winded than HighLevel. You might have to say get it into a Google Sheet.
Yeah.
I've actually just been reading a book. Have you read the book Ask by Ryan? What's his name? I've got a book on the table behind me. I'll find out. Let me find it for you. Hang on. Right, Ask by Ryan Levesque. Have you read that book? This one here?
No.
So I got a copy of this. It's recommended by one of our clients, and he's got a very interesting the way he structures the surveys.
Yeah.
Yeah, to capture all the data, and then, like say, by asking open-ended questions like, "Why are you unhappy with this product?" Yeah. So if someone said they're not happy with product X, like you mentioned, you can ask them, "Why are you unhappy with that?" And then obviously everyone answers differently. Yeah, it's not a radio button answer, is it? Everyone answers differently, and the way he then would look at the spreadsheet, and it's a manual job for two reasons, obviously. Well, the reason really they say to do it manually rather than trying to get AI to do it is if you're reviewing all the responses and putting into categories,
yeah,
you get a much better understanding of how big a problem is it? Is it just like you say, is it just the 4 people that complained last week that just it's just because everyone takes notice, don't you? When someone complains, it sticks in your mind. You don't know you've got another 200 happy customers out there. But
yeah,
so
yeah. No, I think it's something I'm trying to get more into, with clients. We had a, I mean, it used to be a software called Pinpoint, and you could create surveys, and it enabled you to then cross-tabulate data. So I remember there was a gym that we were doing some stuff with, and they had complaints about music. Okay, but the complaints varied during the course of the day, and the music also, was just consistent through the day. But actually, when we looked at it, we realised that the people who were complaining about this type of music were the people who were going in the morning, who actually turned out to be an older demographic. So you could cross-tabulate that information and find out actually that like 90% of the people who use the club in the morning were complaining about the music, whereas in the evening, nobody complained. But you could then actually take some action on that and say, right, we're going to change the music in the morning and then, for the evening. And it was quite useful. It was using data to be insightful.
Yeah, so it's just I think it comes down to, in that case, thinking deeply about it. So HighLevel to capture the data. It's just then how you interrogate the data. Say that aspect there, it had me thinking about the way he's so for instance, you might ask people a question, and the answer comes back, oh, they've got issues with web forms, landing pages, whatever. You start to categorize them. So landing pages and web forms is part of web design, and you work your way back by amalgamating these groups together. So eventually you can create the sort of 4 or 5 key topics that people are interested in. Yeah. So then you can talk to people about websites, and then when you know that when you talk about websites, the key topics within websites you talk about forms and landing pages. So I thought that was that book was quite insightful. It relates to what you talk about here, Steve.
Yeah.
But
no,
coming back to HighLevel, so it's not going to do that level. It's not going to do that level of analysis for you. But again, there's other tools we could bolt on that maybe ScoreApp have got built in. Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Not to say we can't do it, but just might be a bit of a different way of doing it in HighLevel. So obviously we just looked at the coming back to it. We're coming back to sites here. We go back in like sites. So imagine we got this again, the survey built. Yeah, I've called it marketing agency here. And again, the survey is just going to capture data for us. It's saying, what do we do with data? And that's how we'd use the workflows to do that, just like the forms. But in your instance here, you might say the automation. What you might want to do, create one, create a workflow. This time we're looking for a survey to trigger the workflow. New trigger, add trigger. We're looking for a survey. Survey submitted. Yeah, it's just the same process as before. Now we're looking to apply some filters. So maybe as a result of the survey, they were disqualified. You might want to trigger an automation to handle people that have been disqualified as a result of survey. First of all, you'd have to say the survey is. Yeah. You might say, okay, this automation only wants to deal with people that were disqualified as part of the survey, or they actually qualified. Yeah. So we can treat those different groups differently now in the automation. The ones that qualified, you might then want to drop them into a Google Sheet. Drop them into a Google Sheet like that. And then do all your analysis offline from HighLevel from that point onwards. Yeah. Maybe some AI tools you can analyze it or so maybe that's built in better into ScoreApp, maybe. Or you build out your own custom solution. But obviously you can also have follow up with emails, etc., as we did previously with the forms. Does that help at all, Steve?
Yeah. So what other options are there other than Google Sheets for the data?
So the other options to get data out, we could push them. Hang a sec. Go to actions. The other way is with webhooks. Yeah. So every time the form is submitted, we can create a webhook, which is basically going to ping out to a third-party URL a packet of information. So when the form is submitted, ping goes a webhook, and it might be name, email address, phone number, answer to question 1, answer to question 2. We fire that into another tool, whatever that is, via the URL. And then that tool accepts the data and does whatever it wants with it. That's another way.
Yeah.
Doesn't work with Microsoft. Microsoft tools never talk to other tools very well. ChatGPT workflows.
I think, but you could save a
Those
Google
are the
Sheet
two
as
main
a
ways, I'd say.
huh?
So those are two main ways. I was just saying that those are two main ways, Steve. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So what were you going to say? Save this Google Sheet as?
You could save a Google Sheet as an Excel, can't you?
Yeah, you could do. You could send it to Google and then export it as Excel from there. Yes, you could do. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. But the system doesn't natively talk to Excel.
No.
Is that okay for that one?
Brilliant.
So then we can come back. We'll look at the quizzes now. So I'll show you the quiz I've got set up on my website. First of all, so you get a bit of insight into it. So this is the one I've got set up. Probably not most advanced, but it's just a simple demo. So this is what it looks like when it's embedded on the page. One thing I wasn't able to do is to change the color of this bottom bit. I couldn't find a setting for that. So if you can find that setting, that'd be great. But basically, I've got 19 pages of this quiz. Yeah, and this is the way it loads. Yeah, so I'll fill it out worst case scenario. So this quiz here, it's all about qualifying. Is somebody ready for high level? Yeah, so I'm going to give the worst case scenario on every answer. Yeah, and also there's conditional logic working here. Yeah, so if they say no to a particular question, they might jump to page 5. Yeah, skipping out irrelevant questions. So you can build all the conditional logic in there. So if I come here like this, I'm giving all the worst case scenarios here. Yeah. Yes, it's all yes and no. But I have to think, after thinking about what Ryan Levesque was saying there, I should build in some I should build in some open-ended questions, which I haven't done here. So that's something I've got to think about. Oops, want to proceed there. So quite a detailed questionnaire, this one. Choose multiple options there. Almost done. Yeah, and what I realised, the mistake I made when I was editing this email last time, I changed the writing there to white. So again, I've got to go to my own settings and just correct that. Yeah, so I've got an email address in there. Yeah, I've got that. So I'll submit that. And it gives you the results like this. So I had different categories of questions, and it's scoring them on each category like that. So overall score is 25%, which is a low fit. Yeah. And then you can put you can make recommendations what I should do next. Yeah. So you want to talk about your results, book a discovery call. Yeah. And then book a discovery call into the calendar based on that one. But that can be different depending on their overall results, what I've programmed into it, which we'll look at next. Is that okay? Does that make sense, guys? Yeah.
So that report that's generated there, is that generated by the system, or do you have to design the report?
It's a sort of template report, which then obviously these are all categories that I put into the report. Categories of questions we'll see in a minute. Yeah. And also you should get an email as well straight away. I should have got an email. Hopefully it's come through to me. Let's check it. So so obviously I'm getting 2 emails because one's coming to me, the sort of quiz owner, and then the person that's filled it in. So that's the one. This is default one as a quiz owner that I get. So Julie Mills has filled in that questionnaire. Yeah. This is one that this is what they would receive. Yeah. So they get the breakdown, and you can put your recommendations in there, etc. So we probably haven't got as much customization capabilities, Steve, as ScoreApp there. Yeah. So I'll show you the back end. Where are we? How it's configured. So go to sites again. And we go to quizzes this time, quiz builder. So this is the quiz I've just shown you. So I just embedded this on my website. So it looks like this. So again, it's very similar to a sort of a survey format where you've got different pages. You can rearrange the order of pages. You click on here, and you can, again, when you click on settings, you get all the, here's where we're playing the scores here. Where are we? I don't know why I'm not playing these scores there.
Score, yeah.
So one thing we can't do on here, which you can with ScoreUp, is have negative scores. You're taking points away from people. It's just positive here, where you're adding 0 points, 2 points, or 4 points. And again, we can have jumping as well. So if you answer a particular question, you could jump to page 3 or 4 rather than go to page 2, all that sort of thing. Yeah. Again, all the settings are in up here on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side. You can change your colors and your backgrounds. Yeah. So input text, I think that's where I've got my input text color wrong. I'll just change that to black. It'll change for me. Click on there, change that to black. Yeah, just save that like that. So then the end, so you've got all your questions there, Steve, on the page. You come to the very end, which is right at the bottom here. You've got your results template.
Okay.
Here's
Template. Yeah.
Here's the edit template. And I must admit, it takes a little bit of fiddling about this. And I think that they have made some improvements recently. Because you can obviously edit. See this panel down here, yeah? You can edit what it says by choosing either a great fit, a potential fit, or a low fit. You set all these up yourself as well, so you can change what it's going to say if it's a low fit. You just change it there, or if it's a great fit, you change a copy that appears in this panel. So I must admit, it's not the most intuitive, so it takes a little bit of playing with, should we say, to get that right. So and you are sort of fixed to this sort of template. So you can put my logo up there. I was talking to a client yesterday, and he wanted this to be a points, 20 points out of 100. Because he was doing some sort of medical scoring, so he wanted to be able to score on knee pain. Yeah, so it'd be 20 points out of 100 rather than 20%, which we couldn't do that. It has to be 20%.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you could do a sort of quiz like, to a degree, like ScoreApp, but maybe you haven't got quite all the bells and whistles that you've got in your ScoreApp account, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, it's similar in many ways. It's just maybe not so visually, kind of, pleasing. What ScoreApp also does is a very nice sort of landing page, and all of that sort of thing. It's quite clever how it looks, but yeah, you pay for it.
Yes, it's dedicated to the one cause, isn't it, to do this, the surveys. And I was reading Ryan's book there, and Ryan sold his company. What's it? He had the software for doing all the follow-up. When you fill a survey in, all the follow-up. And his company was bought by, guess who? ScoreApp, just last year or something. Well, I thought, oh, that's interesting because ScoreApp then must have all this automation, like what HighLevel can do, you know?
Yeah.
After the survey's filled in. But either they haven't got around to it yet or they're not going to, you know, integrating that because ScoreApp doesn't do that yet for you.
Yeah.
But what you can do, you can link the two together, of course. You can have the two talking to each other. So you fill in the ScoreApp survey, and then I can't remember if it's via Zapier. I know where Rob and I did some work this a while ago. We can integrate it so that the data we can tell HighLevel to respond. The two can be synced together and work in Unity.
Yeah.
No, that's doable. That is doable.
Yeah, good.
And here's where you set up your categories, etc. Just fiddle about with those, yeah. So it's a little bit fiddling about. Again, when the quiz is filled in, it's the automation. So this is where ScoreApp lacks a little bit. You might have to integrate it with a third-party tool to do this sort of stuff. Then you go to automation, and we can trigger off of create a workflow, and then here we got. This time the trigger will be a survey, a quiz being filled in. That's quiz is submitted. Yeah. The quiz name is going to be that one there.
Yeah.
And then you can put various filters in here. Okay. If our overall score is between this value and that value. So this is how you'd automate. So if their score is between 10 and 30%, trigger this to happen. You'd have another workflow. If it's between 50 and 100%, then this needs to happen. So that's where you'd automate off of that. Yeah, so using the actual trigger to do the filtering for you here. That's some other filters here you can apply. Only lets you do the one. But you see here, add filters. You might choose these are the different stages in my quiz. Yeah. So yes, that's how you filter it there. You get the same automation then as well when you do that. Oops, hang on, let me do that. Get that off there, save that. Yeah, and then obviously you can send an email follow. They get the default automated email, but you can send a customized email to them. Send the email. And what I realized yesterday, you see, if you want to customize this email, I was asking tech support, how can I customize that with their score? So normally we'd go to click on custom values and you'd see something related to like appointment or quiz score or something like that. Unfortunately, that's not an option. So you might have to work out if you wanted to put your percentage was such and such. That's a bit tricky at the moment. It's not built into the HighLevel software that, so you might have to do it by using the filters. Yeah, anyone between 10 and 20% for a particular score triggers an automation. So yeah. So it maybe doesn't have quite all the bells and whistles. The quizzes, it's evolving at the moment as we speak. Does that make sense, Steve? So
yeah.
We'll be a bit limited to send them an email saying you scored 50% on this, 20% on this category. We can't really do that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, ScoreApp is definitely quite polished compared to this.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, so I say you might have a case of using 2 for the moment until HighLevel catches up.
Yeah.
And this is it's a good starter tool. You know what I mean? I've got that quiz set up on mine, and I've only had 2 people fill it in. So use it as a test to see if it's worthwhile to maybe get ScoreApp in.
Yeah, it's I think where this is useful is it's maybe quite good for sort of thinking through what you're going to do, because you can, if you presumably can have unlimited quizzes, whereas in ScoreApp you're limited to a number of quizzes for the money you pay.
Yeah.
So it's quite restrictive.
You're okay, yeah. So it's a tool in your arsenal, isn't it? So it may or may not do the job for you in a particular instance, but yeah. I would always use it as a starter, you know. Try it out. If you get loads of submissions, you know, when Daniel's Priest is speaking, you know, they're doing that's the quizzes are a big thing for them. I've never really got them to work for me. Quizzes, like
Yeah.
this market you're in. Yeah.
So just going back to this. So say they've been attributed a score based on how they filled it in. That surely that final score must end up as a field somewhere in the CRM that they can view or you can view.
Yes, you get it to go back.
So if it's a field, then why can't you merge that with
Go back here. Hang on.
an email?
Good question. That's what I was actually tech support. We haven't got that feature yet. Yeah, I know. I thought that'd be sort of standard. I was surprised by that. But what you can do, if you go to sites, you see here, you go to quizzes, submissions. You see here. So there's the last one I had was back in. Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one coming on the 23rd of January. But here's one of mine here. I've got all the answers there. I can see them.
Overall score is there.
Highest score. The data's there, but I can't access it through the automation anyway. Yeah. At the moment, anyway.
Yeah, that's strange.
So from an analysis point of view, we'll capture into. Well, yeah, we capture all the answers. We just can't work out, 40% or 50% or whatever category you're in. Yeah. I don't know I don't know if that helps you with your decision whether you should carry on using ScoreApp, Steve.
Well, I know the score that they get in ScoreApp. I've integrated that, so that score does appear as a field in the CRM. So, but I had to set up a custom field for that score that comes through. So the ScoreApp score does sit in the CRM.
In HighLevel, yeah.
Yeah, in HighLevel, yeah.
Yes, but you've had to create that integration, haven't you, to do that? Yeah,
I've done the integration. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, you do that.
It's just bizarre that the internal quiz won't generate a field which you can then find in the CRM.
I know, yeah. Well, I was just speaking to tech support just yesterday. I know, and I was surprised by that one because
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
Rob, did you have a particular question about one of your forms, Rob?
Well, it's not kind of. It's not that urgent. I think it's more that I was just looking in my dashboard thing, and I've got lots of forms that we've experimented with before, and what I'd like to do is clean up a lot of the stuff that I just don't use. But I don't want to delete a form that is actually being used somewhere that I don't quite know about it. So I didn't know if there was a way to see if the form is somehow active, or maybe just to me to go through and delete the stuff that I think is not needed, and if I need it later on again, I can just put it back on. But it's getting a bit clogged up with things that I've used before, and I just really want to use the CRM for what I need it for. I don't want everything attached to it if I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, all the sort of historical legacy projects and things. Yeah, that's a common problem, that one, because you do tend to accumulate stuff, don't you? I mean, what you could try doing is go to sites and forms, and then see based on submissions. So look at it. Submissions. So you can look at each form individually, like here. All forms. Let's try all forms. Does it give us the name of the form? It doesn't. So you might have to do it on a per form basis and see when was it last filled in. So, I do know that form's not been used in mine, so you might want to go back in time and try and see when was it last used. That might give you some clues. But I know you've got various projects on the go go, Rob, that maybe haven't used the form yet because you haven't gone live with it. So that wouldn't help you there because you might end up deleting a form you do need.
Yeah, that's what I'm. I just want to delete the stuff that I don't need.
Yeah.
Because it's getting a bit overwhelming, really, with the
Well, I mean, obviously you'll have you'll have a list of forms like I've got here, and I mean, but hopefully by the name you can pick out which ones they're associated with. I mean, what I'm doing here, you see, maybe it comes down to, it doesn't help you with the historical stuff, but going forward, like when you start a new campaign, give it a code number. So this is campaign 16. Everything related to everything related to that form will be coded up to 16. So see that form there. Go to the automation. And just by using a coding system, we're able to group things together. So go back here to automation. We can look at campaign 16. There's all the automations that correspond to that form. So now I know I can look at the forms and I can look at the forms in context of the workflows maybe, and even down to custom values. So when I set custom values for this, I was giving them a name. Let's go to settings. Hang on a second, can't see my settings there. Settings, you look at custom, so everything's coded with the number 16. So I can see I can look at them all in isolation, so to speak, and see them. Look at custom fields in folder. Where is it? Folder 16. So these are all the custom fields that correspond to that. This comes back to your question there, Steve. Yeah, see, I've got a folder called 16 M8 referrals follow-up, and all the custom fields related to that form are in here, in one folder, as it were.
Yeah, I guess you could do that as well for the workflow. So if there's related workflow, related emails, they could all be coded the same way, so you can find them.
Exactly. Yeah. Then you get to the work. Yeah, the workflows are coded, and even down to everything can be coded. It just means it's easier to find things later on. So go to the automation. I'll show you again. It's called folder 16. That's all the workflows that relate to that. Yeah. And you then go to marketing. Go to the emails. Yeah, in the email template, so I'd have a folder starting with the number 16. If I've got any emails in there, let me just check. I've got no emails in there. But here's folder number 1. That corresponds to workflows and forms, and then all your emails would live in there, so you can find them again easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in Rob's instance, if there's links between the workflows, forms, and emails, you can start to look at it and say, well, that's an old campaign from 3 years ago. I'm never going to. So you start deleting things off. That's the way I'd look at it. But yeah, it comes down. It's a bit of a manual chore, I'm afraid, Rob. It's the same for everybody. Just clearing out the.
So what is that thing you spoke last week about when you design something but not in the CRM? It's on a chart. It's like a whiteboard type thing.
Lucid chart.
Yeah, lucid chart. So like you say, coming back to it, so those workflows could be coded up on the lucid chart as well. So I code up as number 16 on there, so it all makes sense. You see the big.
So is that lucid totally separate from
lucid chart?
What I'm trying to say is that totally separate, or is it interlinked with?
No, it's completely separate. So this is just like a diagram tool, a diagramming tool. It's a diagramming.
Okay. Well, I'm doing this training course, as you know, next month. So I'm just going to run with it for now. But if it does work, then I think what I'll have to do is to kind of design the whole thing sort of off the CRM, just put it pen to paper, or this lucid chart, and because my brain works better that I really can't follow all the stuff you're doing in the database. It's not my cup of tea, but I can put pen to paper and know exactly so what I'm doing. So I think it'd be good to go through lucid chart thing, and well, you pretty much know what I'm doing. It's just that I think I need to design it, off the CRM, just on pen and paper, and then work to that model, because I've got a lot of stuff on the database that I've tinkered with before. I've got too many contacts in there that I've imported that I just don't need. There's 7,000 contacts in there. I don't need most of them. So I just need to sort of start again, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be changed again. Your ideas change over time, and like I say, stuff gets left behind on the system, doesn't it? The old forms and the workflows, quite a common problem.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm with this CRM, I only really want it to do one thing. I mean, obviously, it can sort of venture off into other things, but anyway, yeah, I'm as I say, I'm doing this training course next month, and I've booked the room now, so I've committed to it financially. So I'm going to be marketing that, and once
what's your course on, Rob?
Well, it's employment related course for engineering and construction and the lift industry. So
the lift industry.
Yeah, so it's mainly to get people in work. That's really what it is. So I'm going to do a training course, and then I mean, I've done it loads of times with the job centre, but they're not paying for things at the moment, and money's kind of, I don't know if it's anything to do with the Labour government, but there's been no funding at all in the last 2 years. So, which is frustrating, because I can do the courses. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to have to just get people to pay for it themselves if they want to do the course and come along and get fast tracked into work and get a career and maybe go self-employed.
So Rob, I'm happy to jump on a call with you. Sorry, Rob, I've got a bad signal at the moment. So yeah, so you've got your venue booked now. So jump on a call when you're ready to move that project forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, guys. If there's no other questions, then it's just turned the hour, so we'll call it a day. That's okay. No more questions.
No, thanks, Julian. I started using Trello last week. Brilliant.
Okay. Really, I've never got into Trello, but you like it, yeah?
Yeah, it's great. It's really good and free.
Working.
It's amazing. Works on all devices.
Yeah. So what you can do though is when you start paying for it, you can trigger automation.
Yeah.
So, but that's you take that's another level. Then you got to start paying for it. Then, yeah.
I'll stick with this level.
Okay, guys, we'll call it a day. We'll catch you next week, hopefully.
Cheers, mate.
Next week, we're covering websites and funnels.
Great stuff. I'll be there.
All right, cheers now. So thanks for watching the recording of this week's workshop. If you've got any questions, please use the QR code to book a quick call with us. You can also use the QR code to book onto the next live workshop. So we'll see you there.